Good day, my name is Angelo, and this is Channel Up, your most preferred YouTube channel. Let's go straight to the point of the day. In a move to combat escalating international crime, the United States Department of State has designated several international drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, that is FTOs. This classification shows the severity of their criminal activities and the extent of their crime and the threat they pose to global security. The designations aim to disrupt these organizations and their operations and curtail their influences around their immediate environment and internationally. So we're going to be taking a brief look at, let's say, 8 or 9 very deadly, notorious cartel or gangs along not just America, but in the whole world. Very notorious for what they do and how they operate. The first on the list is the Los Lobos. The Los Lobos has been translated to mean the wolves in English. It is a prominent Ecuadorian criminal organization specializing in drug trafficking and contract killings. The group emerged in 2020 during the pandemic as a kind of splinter faction from the Los Coneros cartel following the assassination of its leader, George Luis Zamorano. Now, this particular event went further to lead to internal conflicts, resulting in the formation of Los Lobos itself, along with other factions like the Los Cone Killers and the Los Tiguerones. Now, this particular cartel called the Los Lobos has a membership of over 8,000 individuals. Okay, the Los Lobos operates primarily, I beg your pardon, in cities such as Latacunga, Cuenca, and Macala, as well as in the province of Pastaza. Their activities include exporting of drugs like cocaine from Ecuador and providing security services for international partners, notably Mexico's Jalisco New Generation Cartel. That's the famous cartel known as the CJNG. Now, this alliance supports the CJNG's efforts to go further to dominate cocaine trafficking routes in Ecuador's port city of Guayaquil. Now, overall, the Los Lobos has rapidly evolved into one of Ecuador's most powerful, deadly, and let's say most notorious innovative criminal organizations with thousands of members spread across the country and within the prison system. Second on the list is the Los Tiguerones. These people, Los Tiguerones, are also an Ecuadorian criminal organization specialized in drug trafficking, assassinations, extortion, and other serious crimes that we can't mention right now. The group emerged allegedly in 2020 as a splinter faction from the faction called Los Coneros, all right, following the assassination of their leader too, all right. But over time, the Los Tiguerones established themselves primarily in the Esmeraldas region, but have since expanded operations to other coastal cities, including the Guayaquil region of Ecuador and the Manta region of Ecuador. Now, let us briefly check or have a look at the origin and their alliances. That is the origin of this particular cartel and their alliances. This cartel called the Los Tiguerones. Initially, Los Tiguerones operated as a local branch or as an armed wing of Los Coneros, which is another cartel still in Esmeraldas. After the internal split, they formed an alliance known as the Nueva Generación with other former allies of the Los Coneros, another cartel, such as Los Lobos and Los Cone Killers. Now, this coalition established connections with international cartels like Mexico's famous Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the CJNG, going further to enhance their influence and operational capabilities within Ecuador's narcotics trade. These people are really serious. Now, Los Tiguerones remain a significant force to reckon with in Ecuador's criminal landscape, going further to contribute to the country's complex security situation. But trust me, they will soon, they are under control. Okay, they are under control. The third most deadly unknown cartel here is the Los Cone Killers. This is an Ecuadorian criminal organization too, that is said to have emerged in 2020 following a split from other cartels. All right. Now, the group primarily operates, I beg your pardon, in the Guayas province of Ecuador, especially in the city of Duran. Now, they are known for their involvement in narcotic trafficking, assassinations, extortion, human trafficking, money laundering, and other serious crimes. Let us take a look at their alliances and their rivalries. Don't forget, the list I am giving you here are the world's most deadly unknown cartel and gang. Okay, unknown. That is why there are names you won't hear here. Now, this made us go deep into a research for us to get you this. So let's look at the alliances. After their formation, Los Corn Killers aligned with other factions that broke away from the Los Coneros, including the Los Lobos and the Los Tigueros, as earlier said, forming a coalition known as the Nueva Generación. This alliance established connections with international cartels like Mexico's Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the CJNG. Now, their primary rivals include the Los Coneros, the Latin Kings, and occasionally the Los Lagartos. These are their immediate rivals. Now, who is their leader? Who heads this cartel? Who heads this gang? The group has been led by figures such as Juan Julio Alberto Martinez as Silvera, alias Negro Tulio, in May 2024. Martinez was arrested in Panama, identified as a high-value target and the alleged mastermind behind the murder of an anti-corruption prosecutor. Wow. All right. Now, the Los Corn Killers continue to be a significant force in Ecuador's criminal landscape, going further to influence both local and national security dynamics. This is very, very bad. But I trust the Ecuadorian government. Of course, they are doing everything possible in their power to clamp down on these cartels. The fourth on this list is a cartel named the Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua, that's the TDA. It is also a Venezuelan-originated transnational criminal organization that has significantly expanded its influence across Latin America and into the US. It was established around from 2009 to 2010 in the state of Aragua in Venezuela. The group initially operated within the Aragua Penitentiary Center, commonly known as the Tocoron Prison. Over time, the TDA group evolved from a prison-based gang into a formidable criminal entity, boasting an estimated membership of over 5,000 members over a short period of time. Now, let's take a look at their leadership. Who is heading this group? Who has been heading, and what is the leadership like? The organization is led by one Hector Rostenford Guerrero Flores, alias Nino Guerrero. Despite being incarcerated, Guerrero Flores has maintained control over the TDA's operations, with Tocoron Prison functioning as the gang's de facto headquarters until Venezuelan security forces seized the facility in September 2023, 2 years ago. Notably, Guerrero Flores and other key leaders managed to evade capture during this operation, allowing the gang's activities to persist behind the background. So, in summary, Tren de Aragua, aka the TDA gang, has evolved from a localized prison gang into a transnational or international criminal organization with a substantial footprint across the Americas. Now, its expansion and the severity of its activities have prompted significant law enforcement actions and international designations aimed at curtailing its influence, including the recent one that was put into play by the United States Department of State, and that is where this information is coming from. Now, the fifth cartel in this list, I told you I'm giving you the names of unknown cartels that have risen within the last 5 to 6 years. The fifth cartel is known as the Grand Grif. The Grand Grif is a Haitian gang operating primarily in the Artibonite department, recognized as one of the country's most formidable criminal organizations. The gang's origins trace back nearly a decade when former Haitian parliament member Profane Victor began arming young men to secure his election and establish control over the region. This initiative led to the formation of the group or the cartel known as the Grand Grif, which has since expanded its territorial influence and activities. Let's take a look at their leadership, because these are the most important things to see or to check out for when you talk about this particular gang. These ones are from Haiti, the other ones from Venezuela and then Ecuador and all. The current leader of the Grand Grif is one Luxon Elan, who has been implicated in activities threatening the peace, security, and stability of Haiti as a nation, and the broader region, of course. Under Elan's leadership, the gang has grown in power and in strength and have gone further to extend its reach within the Atibonite department. They have gone outside Haiti now. So in summary, the Grand Grif Cartel and its evolution from a politically motivated group, of course, to a dominant gang and a kind of strong criminal organization. It has gone further to underscore the complex challenges that Haiti faces in addressing gang violence and restoring stability to affected regions. The sixth gang or the sixth cartel I'm taking here is the Kuku gang or the Koku gang. Now, this gang is or refers to criminal groups in the UK that exploit vulnerable individuals by taking over their residences, a practice known as cuckooing or cocooing. The term cocooing is derived from the behavior of the cuckoo birds, which lay their eggs in other birds' nests, leaving the host birds to raise their offspring elsewhere. Now, similarly, these gangs have gone further to commandeer the homes of susceptible individuals and unsuspecting individuals to further their illicit operations. How do you identify their victims? How do their victims fall prey? And how do you pick out or select their victims before they move? First of all, I told you they target vulnerable victims. Victims of cuckooing or cocooing are often among society's most vulnerable people, including individuals with substance misuse issues, that is, individuals with addiction issues, those with mental or physical disabilities, people who are elderly or elderly individuals living alone, and then people facing socio-economic hardships. These are the people that are being cuckooed. Yes, they are being cuckooed into leaving their homes and letting these gang members to take charge of their homes for criminal activities. Now, these individuals may be coerced through intimidation, violence, or manipulation, whichever way, making it challenging for authorities to distinguish between victims and willing participants. Over time, these people become part of these gangs, and then it becomes an issue how the widespread of members in this gang happens in a very, very short period of time. In summary, the Coco gangs exploit vulnerable individuals by taking over their homes for illicit purposes. Recognizing the signs of cocoing and implementing comprehensive support systems are so crucial steps towards protecting those at risk and addressing this exploitative practice. On number 8 on this list, we have the cartel known as the Los Coneros. I've mentioned them earlier. This also is an Ecuadorian organized crime syndicate and drug cartel based in Guayaquil, with significant influence along the country's coastline. Founded in 1990s, the group has evolved from a small gang into one of Ecuador's most prominent criminal organizations. Let's take a look at their origins and their expansions over time. Remember, they have been very, very active within the last 5 or 6 years. The origins of the cartel known as the Los Coneros trace back to the 1990s in the city called Con, where George Bismarck Vélez España, known as the Teniente España, established the group, initially comprising 8 members aged between 18 and 30. They expanded into Manta or the Manta province, engaging in various illicit activities and eventually gaining control over key drug trafficking routes with the support of the Sinaloa cartel. Sinaloa cartel is one of the biggest cartels in the country. It has been mentioned before by the US Department of State. Let's take a look at their leadership. Who is their leader? How did he come about? Their leader, known as George Bismarck Vélez España, from 2005 to 2007, was the founder and first leader establishing the group's initial operations. When he left, George Luis Zamorano existed between 2007 and 2020. He led the organization during its expansion. His assassination in 2020 led to internal divisions, and then other cartels were formed. Furthermore, Jose Adolfo Macias Villamar, aka Fito, from 2020 till present, he assumed leadership following Zamorano's assassination under his command. All right, the group has faced internal conflicts and external pressures. In fact, known members of the group have been said to have split over time. So since 2011, the Los Coneros have exerted significant influence within Ecuador's prison system, effectively controlling facilities like the La Regional in Guayaquil. This dominance has facilitated their expansion and solidified their status as a dominant force in Ecuador's organized crime scene. Understanding the history and structure of Los Coneros provides big insights and heavy ideas into the complexities of organized crime in the country, that is Ecuador, going further to highlight the challenges faced by authorities in addressing such deeply entrenched criminal organizations. The ninth on the list is the La Nueva Familia Michoacana, the LNFM, or the New Michoacan Family. It is also a Mexican criminal organization that emerged in 2011 as a splinter group from the original La Familia Michoacana cartel. The LNFM, as it is known, is primarily active in western Mexican states of Michoacan, Estado de Mexico, Morelos, Jalisco, and Guerrero, and has extended its operations to various United States, including Texas, New Mexico, North Carolina, Georgia, and Washington, D.C. Now, who has been the leader of this group? And how did he come to be? And what have they been doing? The organization is led by brothers Johnny Hurtado, alias El Pez, and Jose Alfredo Hurtado Olascoga, alias El Freza. Their leadership has been marked by efforts to expand the group's influence and engage in various illicit activities. We are going to be taking a brief look at their alliances, who they have been working with, what they have been doing. Remember, this information comes from the recorded archive of the United States Department of State. Now, aside the alliances, we'll also look at their affiliations. Now, the La Nueva Familia Michoacana maintains alliances with several criminal entities, such as the Los Viagras. The Los Viagras, I think I will give you a brief, maybe a brief explanation to these alliances, or these entities they have alliances with. The Los Viagras is an armed wing associated with the organization, so that you should know about that. Then the second group is the Guardia Michoacana. It's another armed faction linked to the LNFM. Then the next is the Carteles Unidos, a coalition of criminal groups collaborating with the LNFM. Then the La Familia Michoacana, that's the original cartel from which the LNFM split, but they are still in alliance till date. Then we have the Cartel del Camaleon, we have the Los Reyes, we have the Cartel de la Virgin, we have the Los Revueltas, we have the Los Tenas, and then we have the Los Pantanos. These various groups have affiliations or associations with the LNFM. Then the last on the list will be the Sinaloa cartel, a bigger cartel. This is a major Mexican drug trafficking organization with which the LNFM also has had connections over time. I'm not explaining it, I am just linking them to the LNFM. And we have another group called the Mexican Mafia. All right, we have the Bloods group, and then we have the Crips cartel. All right, all these are US-based gangs that have reportedly interacted with the LNFM within a short period of time. So when you look at the activities seem alike. When you look at their operational services, it seems alike. All right, so the links are clear. And in June 2024, the U.S. Department of Treasury sanctioned 8 top leaders of the La Nueva Familia Michoacana drug cartel, including Johnny Hurtado Olascoga and Jose Alfredo Hurtado Olascoga. The Treasury alleged that the group was implicated in a mix of criminal activities, including the cultivation of opium poppy and U.S. distribution of heroin and fentanyl. This you should look up online and have more information about. All right, it is information available to everybody in the public space. Furthermore, in February this year, 2025, the U.S. Department of State designated the Landwehr Familia Miskokana as a foreign terrorist organization. This designation allows for the use of specific legal tools to combat the group's activities, including asset freezes and travel bans. So you have taken a look at all the cartels that I have told you. This drug cartel gang or these drug cartels are groups that have risen within the last years and are not known to the public. So in conclusion, the U.S. Department of State's recent designations highlight the ongoing efforts to address the threats posed by these dangerous cartels through international cooperation and targeted actions and services. The goal is to dismantle these organizations and mitigate their impact on communities worldwide. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please, if you enjoyed this particular piece, why not subscribe to this channel up, and like our videos, share them to your loved ones, both at home and abroad. And you know what? Tap that notification bell so that you won't be late when I drop a new update just like this one. See you next time. Bye.